So I'll show you guys what I'm doing here in my garage. This is the continuation of Dark Horse. It's a 2015 Chevy Duramax with the LML diesel. Originally he blew out a piston. We swapped out the pistons. He had 5 and 8 starting. 8 was gone, 5 was starting to go. But unbeknownst to us, he had bent the crank. So it took about 4,000 kilometers, 3,000 kilometers to grind out the center bearings. So the block is done and the crank is done, and I sort of told him he was looking at long block options, but that gets expensive quick. So here's what he ended up doing. He got we're in Canada, so this came from Eastern Canada, out Montreal way. 134,000 kilometer LML engine on it, 90-day warranty. But I'll tell you, it is rough. It is rough. Look at what the salt does to these engines. You know, it just pulverizes them. I'm just absolutely amazed. Like, we get salt where we are, but not like this. Like, this thing is just, it's just wasting away. But it's an engine, it works. So what I'm doing right now is, without getting carried away, because if you don't stop at some point, you'll have everything replaced. I'm going to replace the best parts off of this top end. So I'm doing the fuel rail. I've already taken his fuel rail because the fuel rail that came with it is in some of the most horrendous condition I've ever seen. Like, that's the fuel rail. Low pressure return. So go through the engine. I swapped this one over. I'll keep the injectors. All the lines have been swapped. The return fuel system seems all right. I checked out the CP4, the top end, in the solenoid, it's fine. I mean, it's rusted to pieces. There was a mega mouse nest underneath the fuel pump that I had to dig out. I'm gonna replace this crossover line to the other fuel rail because that's the condition of it. I mean, it's here, why not? I'm gonna put his intake on it because it's already got the bypass for the delete, EGR cooler delete, which is an absolute must. I mean, you take a look at the inside of his old engine. It's been EGR deleted for ages. You know, 290,000 kilometers on this engine, and this thing's got half that. And that's the condition inside. Like, this EGR system and this exhaust, putting the fumes back through the engine, is bullshit. It is intentional suicide. I don't agree with it one bit. This worshiping of the environment, like we're all killing it and it's dying by these elites that want to tell us and control us and put things in our way. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, everywhere you look, it's just rust, rust, rust. I think the engine sat outside for a little bit too. I mean, I don't view all of this as 100% just sitting. I mean, the little bit of gasket that sticks out the back is just gone. Just gone. So I'm going to give him his turbo, his up pipes, his down pipe, do all his delete stuff. EGR is deleted. And out of that, he should have the parts that matter are good. Like, the crank is good, the pistons are good, the block's good, the oil cooler's good, heads are good. injectors are working, and it's got 134,000 kilometers on it before this thing was involved in an accident. So he should have a very, very usable engine for Dark Horse. And then he can sell it and recoup his money, I guess, and move on to the next one. I don't know. What would you do? What would you do with this LML? Would you turn it into a project motor? I mean, you can get main caps for it and a whole new rotating assembly, and get it machined. You got to get your main caps honed in line. So the crank is screwed and you get new mains. The rest of it is good. The heads are good. You could 20 over, 30 over the pistons. I think it would be a fun project. Like, clean the thing up, blast it, paint the block orange, Chevy orange. Do like a counter color on the valve covers. Like, do like a cream or something like that. Do a alternating orange and cream. Oh, that would look so good. I don't know. I should stop or I'm going to get myself in trouble thinking about what to do. I wish I had an LML model Chevy to put the engine in. That would be so much fun to just take this thing and resurrect it. I don't know. I kind of like, fixing stuff is interesting because you're able to solve problems, but I also like building something. I like creating something and doing the research and putting the time and effort, and then seeing it come to fruition is really satisfying. So I don't know. I don't know what he would take for the engine, but it sure would be fun to do something like that and make it look cool. But I guess I could spend the money on something else. So I'll get this thing up and running. I'll keep you updated for those that care. I've not seen too many bent cranks. And nobody in my neck of the woods in their garage has got 2 Duramax LMLs sitting on the stands. Oh, and this stand, this is how I modified it. I used an S-cam. This is an S-cam off of a semi. I cut the S-cam off, welded it onto the plate, TIG welded it, made an adapter plate to go onto the engine stand, and then just used the manual slack adjuster, pinned it down so it can't move. And there you go. You've got a professional alignment gear reduction system that's strong enough. This is 1.5 inch diameter on these center bearings to handle all the weight. Now I can rotate this engine 360, no problem. You go slow, you can tell the weight on the engine stand when it gets, sideways. But it can handle it. It can rotate it very slowly, 360 degrees safely. So I bought this second engine stand just here this weekend from Canadian Tire. Eventually I will cut the top off it and do the same mod, because when you're doing engine swaps and part swaps, 2 is the new 1, man. So keep you updated. If you're interested, give me a comment. Talk to you later. Bye.